So where did you, like, how did your dad teach you all the different materials, how to compact it, how much water, all the intricate details of all the dirt? How did he learn it? Was it just did it trial and error, or how did y'all become the experts in this industry?
I think he was just kind of naturally talented for being able to figure things out really quick. He's always been that way. Comes up with tools, and builds something to fix something when it needs to be fixed. So it was a lot of trial and error in there. And I learned a lot from him on how to move dirt, how to fill it when you're sitting in the machine, what you're looking for, what your slopes are. But I think he taught most of that himself, and I was learning at the same time as I was growing up. And then, I got to give credit. When that '08 deal happened, I went to work with Jay Mills on a road construction crew. I had a lot of experience on reading plans at that point and operating. And I ended up moving up the ladder pretty quick with them. But I learned a ton on that through testing and compaction testing, everything that we had to do to pass what we needed to do for highways, which we did some of that before with Dad too. I mean, we did basement sub-compactions and just a ton of different projects, trial by fire. But I did learn a lot with Mills as well, just because that's the way it had to be.
It had to be in different things. So if a guy was coming up, operate like, hey, I want to, do you recommend, is it just like on framing? I mean, sure, there's some schools you could go to, but in reality, you just got to go do it. Is the dirt kind of the same way?
Yeah.
You just got to realistically, you just got to go find somebody that'll take you under the wing and just go start doing.
For sure, because every material works different too.
Okay.
And going back to, I don't remember the question you were asking me about Colton earlier, but that was one thing that even just in the time we've been together, we've encountered quite a few different dirts, and I was able to show him some tricks on, well, when you have this, you can add moisture this way and it'll make it work in this way. Or if you get too much moisture in this type of material, then you're going to lose a day because you have to open it back up, which would be basically kind of like plowing it. Yeah. Let it dry back to a certain point, and then you can get your compaction. But yeah, there's a lot of feel to it. You kind of got to get your hands in.
Yeah.
You got to get your hands dirty.
I do know that like a lot of concrete guys they complain about your pads.
Oh, well, I've heard that.
Because they're like, it's packed.
Gosh, those pads might as well be the foundation itself.
No, he does. I mean, that's what I love. That's the nitty-gritty details of what he does. Like, that's what I really like how you pat. I mean, others may do it, but I just never seen it like at how well you did it, and that's what I really liked when I started getting around you. It wasn't just we're here just to slop some dirt on the ground or some gravel. You really pay attention to the details of
He's an artist.
I'm a road selling ton of a gun for core.
I love it. That's probably one of my favorite ones to do.
I love anybody that talks about a road. I'm like, oh, Core's roads, like his roads. Like it's like they probably get tired of me talking about it. But it's like, well, it's just like at my house, 18 months, heavy equipment running up and down it. Not a single pothole, just absolute good stuff. And that's what I like about how you go about it.
And there's a price point on that. I mean, that's, there's a lot of times I go out and look at a road and then they say, well, this guy's half the cost. I said, well, there's only so many places you can cut corners, And I mean, there's a certain level that you're going to pay. I prefer not to build a road that you can't do that on and my name be on it. I mean, yeah, sure. I can come in, throw base down like you were saying, and say, well, your vehicles will pack that in over time. And we're done.
Well, what was that? There was a job over there in Carlton where I talked to you about it. And the owners didn't want. They were like, I don't remember if you're at 50,000 or whatever. And they ended up finding a dirt guy for 25. And I was like, my word! I was like, this ain't gonna end well. And then later on, I was like, hey Trent, there's a road, and we can get to the house, but I swear it goes from like 10 foot. Narrows down to 6 feet at times, and then it's like and it's very thin.
up and down.
Up and down. It's not smooth. And yeah, it might be smooth, but then it's like as you're driving, it's wallering out. And then like when it's just there was a massive difference in what I saw. And that's what really sold me of like, hey, there's no other road guy out there in my mind. You know, it's like, so that's what,
Thanks.
But there is a big difference.
I've never seen Kevin swooning so hard.
I mean,
I'm
kind of
road-
I'm blushing.
Are you
a little
blushing?
bit.
Yeah.
I love the roads, like, but it is a big difference, and that's what price. But they're going to be repairing that road.
Yeah,
right out the gate.
There's a lifetime that you kind of want to be able to expect out of the road. All of that changes depending on the traffic of it.
Mm-hmm.
But for, say, your driveway, I mean, it should last, 18 months with 18-wheelers going across it.
Uh-huh.
That probably put a little bit of life on it, as far as its life expectancy. But I would imagine a well-built road with a subgrade, which would be what's going underneath the base, getting watered and compact and crowned properly so that you do have drainage. Drainage is a big issue on roads.
Uh-huh.
But built properly, 6 inches compacted, I think you can get about 10 years before you're going to have to really do any addition of material.
Okay.
But there is.
This is we're talking about it like a Caliche road.
Correct.
Yeah.
We're
that's
talking.
right.
Your driveway is what, quarter mile?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there is a maintenance to that. That when you start seeing depression in it from where you drive in the same spot every time, which I try to recommend people don't do.
Mm-hmm.
Use your whole road, and that keeps that shape to it. But most people get stuck in the same pattern. They drive in the same place every day. They take the corner the same way. Those things over time will cause a road to degrade much quicker. So you do need to hire somebody to come back and spend a day, right, depending on the size of the road.